Fishing with Johnny Johnson has been brought to you by Hatch Toyota, generations moving forward.
Oh, a swim bait fish. Oh my goodness, that's a big old swim bait bass. Oh my goodness, look at the size of this fish, folks. He's a monster. Oh, and he engulfed my bait. He engulfed it. Ooh, I barely got him hooked in there. Come on, come on, come on, come on. No. Ah! Yeah, look at that fish. My little swim bait. We're at Apache Lake having a little bit of fun with what I like to call a clear water swim bait. And I'll tell you what, right now, this little bait right here, I have a lot of fun with. And you got to throw it on an open face rod. I've got my carrot stick going on here, as you can see. I like that. It's a good medium action on it. And it's got, you know, I can throw this with 12-pound test or 8-pound test. But believe it or not, I'm throwing 10 with this. So, you know, I'm just throwing it out there. And it's just a little guy, but boy, do they eat this thing. I have a lot of fun with it. I've caught a lot of fish at Lake Mead and things like that on there. And just, it's a great clear water deal. Now, believe it or not, this is a storm bait. You can pick up like a package of 3 of these things for like $3 or something like that. They're pretty inexpensive, and they're a lot of fun to throw. Let me tell you, I'm throwing the shad color right here, and I haven't doctored it up or done anything, just throwing it out there as is. And you saw what just happened there. He ate the bait, just literally ate it. Again, 10-pound test line. 10 to 8 pound, depending on where you're at, and then you could throw 12 on it as well, but it just doesn't get near the good swim on it like you'd want if you use a smaller line. Medium action, 7-foot rod, you know, and I like a fast tip on this. That way when they hit it, I can set the hook, because you've got a pretty good bite on the hook. And then, you know, like I said, just a good open face reel, spin casting outfit, and you're good to go. You got to remember, you could probably throw this on a bait caster, but I think it's hard to beat with this particular kind of rod and reel outfit. And it's real easy to do. There's a couple of little quick techniques I can show you with this bait that's a lot of fun. And I'll just throw it up in the shallows, like I say, and then reel it in. But a lot of times you could fish this along cliff walls, up in the shallows, you know, on points. The thing works great everywhere. You know, I've had success everywhere with this bait. So, you know, I've even thrown it on beds at times in the springtime. So you can have a lot of fun. But here's the deal. I throw it out there, and a lot of times I'll just do a slow, steady retrieve. And you can get by with that a lot. You know, that's what we caught that fish on, was just a slow, steady retrieve. I'm just kind of throwing it out there and slowly reeling it in. That's all I'm doing. You're just getting that wave action out of the tail. But the one thing I've learned with this bait that's a lot of fun is if you need to add a little action to it, and the fish might come up and hit it even better sometimes, is when you throw it out there, just like that, and you just kind of pump the rod tip like this, short, quick little pumps, just like that. And what happens is it almost looks like a little shad trying to swim, or you know how they kind of dart as they swim. And so it kind of looks like that as it's coming through the water column there. But it gives it that little jittery swim, I'm swimming, you know, thrust of the tail thing. So you can do it either way. My suggestion is you find the cadence that works good for you, that's going to catch some fish, and throw it that way. So, but a little swim bait's a lot of fun to throw, and we'll see what we can't catch today on it. And of course, we might have to pull out other, you got to be versatile on these lakes, but I'm going to try to see if I can't get some good fish off this today, and see what we can't do for sure. My right hand was going numb on me all the time. I really thought this was career ending for me. Then I found Dr. Michael Fitzmaurice. He looked at my hand, walked me through step by step of what was happening and what he needed to do. Minimal invasive hand surgery and instant relief. I was back to fishing in a week. Carpal tunnel and tennis elbow is no fun. I highly recommend Fitzmaurice Hand Institute. Call for your appointment today at Fitzmaurice Hand Institute. You don't have to live with the pain.
Call toll-free 855-480-HAND or visit fitzhand.com.
Ooh, there's a nice one. Oh my my goodness, look at the size of that one, folks. That swim bait catch big fish, let me tell you. Man, the quality of these fish hitting this bait is unbelievable. You got to use your drag on some of these fish. Look at that, that's bigger than the last one we caught. Oh my goodness. That's what I'm talking about, son. Let's swim big bass. Oh, I barely got him hooked on the bottom of the lip. Oh, come here. Come here. Look at that fish. All right, you're done. You're done. Oh, golly. Good thing I ain't in a tournament. That'd be pretty sorry, wouldn't it? The swim bait bass. That's what I'm talking about, folks. Oh my goodness, just a slow, steady retrieve. He got that thing in the bottom of his jaw. I don't know how you even hit that thing like that. Come on, I have to get the pliers out on this guy. There we go. Tell me big fish don't hit swim baits, baby, huh? Apache Lake bass, that's what I'm talking about, huh? Look at the size of that fish. Just a beautiful, gorgeous fish. Hi, baby. The only thing I can tell you, really honestly, is you better make sure you got a good net when you're throwing this bait. Let me tell you, isn't it amazing how you don't have to go out and buy a $100 swim bait to catch fish? This is just a plain Jane little swim bait. That's all it is. Just a lot of fun. I'll tell you, we have a lot of fun showing you different stuff on the show a lot of times, but I'll tell you what, picking stuff like this up is just a real hoot. Man, he frayed my line good, and that's something else you need to really check for when you're playing around rocks. Even though you have your drag set and stuff, those fish they're so powerful, they'll try to swim under a rock or something. You always have to check your line just for frays or anything. I'm using a fluorocarbon line, which is really important for this kind of fishing, because you're using such a small swim bait that you got to have it sink a little bit. If you're using a floating line, like say a monofilament, you know, it's going to stay up higher, and I want it to get down there with that slow, steady retrieve. So I'll use a fluorocarbon line, and that'll really help with this kind of fishing for sure. You know, you're going to hear us talk a lot about fluorocarbon line throughout the years because it's just an awesome line. Until we get to top water. Then we go to the monofilament. But right now, I'm telling you right now, this is the setup right here. Caught him on the old carrot stick. I've had this rod a long time. You know, I put this rod in the box because my mom bought it for me, believe it or not. She says, what kind of carrot? I wanted to try it out when they first came out. Nice little rods. But yeah, so I've had it around. It's kind of a good luck rod for me. So you find those kind of rods, that's fun. But you can easily get the Carbon Light Bass Pro rods, or just as well. And you know, like I said, they're awesome. But awesome rods, I like them. Let's cut that off and retie and go catch another big fish. How does that sound? Oh yeah, that's the female. Oh, yes sir. Look at the size of that fish. Look at that fish. Come on, baby. Ah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know, man. You know what happened? I gotta tell you. Look at the size of that fish. Isn't she beautiful? Look at that. I caught it sight fishing on my little reed crawfish. Well, took the pincher off. Look at there. Awesome, awesome bait to throw. But you know what's funny? All I did was I was throwing my swim bait out and this fish followed it out. And it looked big to me. And I'm like, man, that's a good sized fish. Remember, that swim bait works great just as a search bait. And what I mean by being a search bait is you take the bait and you just throw it out there. And if you see a fish following it in, especially in the springtime, watch where it goes back. We've had a few followers about that big I never went back for. But when you see a pretty good sized bass coming out of there, I'm like, man, I gotta see where that bass is coming from. Went right up, big old bed on a rock, and boom, caught it. That's fun. That was a little 1-2 punch right there. You know, swim baits are a lot of fun, and you know, like I said, this is a great little swim bait. It doesn't take a whole lot for this bait to look good, obviously. I mean, they've done a fine job with it, but there's not near the detail on something like this as there would be, like I was telling you about them $100, $25 or $50 baits. You know, the bigger you get, the more fine detail they got to put in them, especially a lot of them are handmade, and that's why you're paying the big bucks, because you'll catch giant fish on them. But these little guys here, you know, they come 3 to a pack, and you know, they do really good. You know, a lot of times up at home where I'm at, I have to use a trout swim bait to catch some of those big fish. So yeah, you're paying getting the big 6-inch, 7-inch trout baits, you're paying the good money for, so you can get them to look exactly like a trout, you know, because the bass will see it, and if it don't look real to them, they're not gonna hit it. So, especially when you're just kind of slow rolling, swimming it in. So, I'll tell you what, this swim bait not only is just a great bait to catch fish with, but you saw what just happened, a great search bait. Always something to think about when you're fishing is paying attention to fine detail. And I know I say that a lot, but it's real important. I mean, the thing is if you're not throwing out there paying attention to what's going on in your surroundings, and you're just kind of out casting and looking at the rocks and all that, you might miss some key things that's going on that might allow you to catch more and bigger fish. So always remember that.
I make my living towing my boat from lake to lake, and I can tell you when it comes to quality, comfort, and reliability, the Toyota Tundra is the truck for me. And when you pair that up with the #1 Toyota Tundra dealer in Arizona, Hatch Toyota, you've got a winning combination. Stop by Hatch Toyota, take a test drive, and see for yourself why the Toyota Tundra is ranked #1 in my book. But be aware, you just might go home with the best truck you've ever owned. From Hatch Toyota, 1051 North Automall Parkway in Shola.
Good fish. Slowed the roll down just a little bit. Oh! That's what happens when you slow the roll a little bit. Come on, fish. That's actually our smallest fish of the day right there. But we'll take him. Come on, buddy. Oh! Our smallest fish of the day right there on that swim bait. I just slowed the roll down a little bit. Nice largemouth. You know, a lot of times if you're going down the bank and you're not getting bites, it might have been when you caught fish, you got a little overzealous and you're getting excited and you're reeling too fast. Just start working with your retrieves, and a lot of times it'll come right back to you. And that's a lot of it, is finding out what retrieve speed they like the most, and use that retrieve speed. Hey folks, for my tip of the week, one thing that'll really help you when you're up on the front of your boat, if you don't have your graphs paired together and you got a different, puck for each graph, and they work separately and they're not actually working together, one thing that's very important that all of us fishermen like to do that are working our front graphs and seeing what's on there is to get the static out of it. And you don't want any interference from another graph working in your boat, because both pucks will actually have some interference, and then you'll see that on your graph. If you want to clear that graph up, all you have to do is where you sit is put your main one that you watch when you're driving on standby, on your dash. And all you do is hit the power button on this particular model, and it says standby right there. So when you enter it, it actually shuts everything down, and it's just in a standby mode. And then when you come back and you put the front one in standby mode to take off, all you have to do is you hit the power button and then hit exit, and you're back on. But you want to shut one or the other off if you don't have them working together, okay? That's real important, because that'll really help you when you're using your graph, and everything won't look so static to you on it. It'll really clear that front graph up for you. That's a monster. Oh yeah, that's a good fish right there. Slow rolling that bait. Oh my goodness. That's what I'm talking about, folks. Look at the size of this fish. That's a monster. That's exactly what I'm talking about right there. Oh, please don't come off. I barely got her hooked. Come on over here. Please don't come off. Oh my goodness, please don't come off. Easy does it, easy does it. I barely got her hooked in the bottom of the chin right now. No, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's a big female getting ready to spawn, see? She's using this little waterway. There might be a little shelf on that point right there. We turn the boat around where you can see her real good. That's just a beautiful, beautiful largemouth bass on that swim bait. Once again, slowing the roll down really helped, but you can see what we got. She's beautiful. We'll let her go back in. All right, baby. There you go. I'm telling you folks, this kind of fishing's a lot of fun. If you haven't tried it, try it. You know, to have the kind of day we're having on the lake today is just incredible. We've caught quality fish today, and what's really cool about today is the fact that a lot of guys would be out sight fishing, you know, and catching those little fish and stuff, and I wanted to find a way to catch some of these bigger fish, and a lot of times you got to pull yourself off that sight fishing because a lot of the males will be up there. Not to say, you know, because it is that time of year, it's a lot of fun, but you can catch big fish like that just casting and winding, so you don't have to be up there. But I'll tell you what, you still have to be in the areas. This particular area we're in here at Apache Lake right now has a great spawning flat, as you can see right over there. Great spawning flat right there. You find areas like that backs in these coves. Now if you take a look at this bluffy area we're looking at right here, this is more of a channel way. And what I mean by that is a roadway for the big fish and all the fish to use to get back into those flats. So never overlook these. You know, there's going to be fish back there, you know, up on beds, but there's also going to be fish along here using this as a channel way, or there might be a little shelf here that the fish might like to sit on. So there's a lot to take in when you're fishing this time of year, but it's a lot of fun.
Have you been injured in an accident? Call Suzuki Law Offices today for your free consultation and speak to me. Do not talk to the insurance company. The insurance company is not your friend. They're trying to work what's in their best interest. At Suzuki Law Offices, we're here to work for what's in our client's best interest. Call Suzuki Law Offices for your free consultation, and we will aggressively fight for you. We don't get paid until our clients get paid. Call Suzuki Law Offices and see the difference.
Oh my goodness, he hit it right there at the boat. Big fish, a giant. Oh my goodness. Oh, tell me there's not big fish in Apache Lake, folks. Oh, we're getting a snapshot of this one. Oh, come on, baby. Oh. I thought I got hung. He was getting ready to pull the bait out and he whacked it right there. What a fish, huh? Look at the size of that bass. Oh, we got to get a quick snapshot here. We got to get one for Facebook. All right. For folks of you at home, you want to know how I do all this. When you see those pictures coming up, and this is how it's done. Just don't drop the phone in the water. Got it. Beautiful fish. We'll be watching for that on Facebook. See you, buddy. Whew, what a swim bait day, man. That little thing just gets it done, doesn't it? Oh my goodness. That's incredible. I'll make sure I put on there swim bait bass. Oh my gosh, you know what? Here's the deal. If you can parallel the bank with this bait, you're gonna catch some fish with it. You know, I just got up along the bank and I was just paralleling. I was about ready to bring it up. What had happened? I just changed the speed to bring it up. The fish might have been following it, and when I changed the speed, maybe it thought it was trying to run from him, and whack, he hit it. Been slow rolling it, but that little change of speed might have been the trick. So that was key, baby, key. Got him. Oh, that's a giant. Oh, oh, Oh my goodness, there's another quality big bass from Apache Lake right here on our bait. Hit me almost right at the boat. That's what I'm talking about. Come on. Ah! Yeah, look, I skin hooked it. Look at that. Just kind of inhaled it. Folks, I'm telling you what, man, this bait is incredible. We've had a lot of fun with this particular bait. Pick up some Storm baits, little tiny swim baits, little 3-inch, 2-inch swim baits. They come automatically preloaded with the weights and everything in them, 1/8 ounce, you know, and 1/4 ounce. And then, like I said, use light line so the bait acts very naturally in the water. Get yourself a medium action rod, you know, 10 pound, 12 pound test line, 8 pound test line. And then I wouldn't suggest 6 though, don't go 6. And then you're set to go fishing for the day, and you'll have a lot of fun with these baits. Throw them out, slow roll them in, nothing to it. You'll have a lot of fun. If you'd like to take a trip with me sometime, if that's something you're thinking about, you can actually do it now. Go to the ArizonaFishingGuides.com and you can book a trip with me. Till next week, we'll see you on the water. I'm Johnny Johnson. That's what I'm talking about.